Why are you doing this?
I don't know what you mean.
Yes, you do. Okay, this is really difficult for everyone, but it doesn't have to actually be this hard.
I'm not doing anything, Julia. I am simply living my life with my family. If you're having a hard time, I suggest you look in the mirror.
No, I know exactly what it is that you are trying to do. And I am not gonna let you put Lily in the middle of this anymore.
Are you threatening me?
Yes.
On the set. This is Michael Faulkner, and it is showtime at the April 18, 2017 edition of the Weekly Podioplex, brought to you on the Chronic Rift Network. This week's birthdays include voice actor Billy West, Rooney Mara from The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, 10th Doctor David Tennant, Rick Moranis from Ghostbusters and Little Shop of Horrors, Hayden Christensen from Star Wars Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith, Carlos Valdez and Robbie Amell, Cisco Ramon and Firestorm from The Flash, Andy Serkis from The Lord of the Rings, King Kong and Star Wars The Force Awakens, James McAvoy, Professor Xavier from the First Class X-Men films, Jeffrey Dean Morgan from The Walking Dead and Supernatural, and Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, who is turning 90 this year. Starting with the box office report, the win was predictable, but stunning. At number 10 is Kong Skull Island, down 3 from 7th. At number 9 is The Case for Christ, up 1 from 10th. At 8 is Power Rangers, down 2 from 6th. In 7th is Get Out, up 1 from 8th. And finishing out this week's bottom 5 is Gifted, up 10 spots from 16th, as it adds 1,000 new screens. The top 5 this week begin with Going in Style, down 1 from 4th with $6.3 million toward a $23.3 million total. In 4th place is Smurfs The Lost Village, down 1 from 3rd with $6.7 million, added to a total of $25 million. In 3rd place is Beauty and the Beast, down 1 from 2nd with $13.7 million and a new total of $454.7 million. Beauty and the Beast is now the 22nd largest worldwide release of all time, finally breaking $1 billion this week. In 2nd is last week's winner, The Boss Baby, adding $16 million to a total of $116.8 million. And taking over in 1st place this week is The Fate of the Furious, premiering with $98.8 million domestically and $433.2 million internationally, for a grand total of $532 million worldwide. That's a new international record, beating Jurassic World, and a new worldwide record, beating Star Wars The Force Awakens. In terms of the franchise, this is the 2nd highest premiere behind Furious 7 and is only $1 million ahead of Fast and Furious 6. There was also some discussion in the early days of this film's development about the franchise's future, especially given pop culture's continual questioning of remakes and sequels. Why do they keep making more of them instead of making something original? I'd say they have 532 million new reasons to keep doing what they're doing. To that end, the 9th and 10th installments are already on the schedule for 2019 and 2021. The Fate of the Furious scored an A with opening day audiences and had a 66% critical reception. Let's close out the box office report with a look at what's winning in years gone by. 5 years ago in 2012, Think Like a Man took number 1 with $33.6 million. 10 years ago in 2007, Dystopia won the weekend for a second week with $13 million. 20 years ago in 1997, Anaconda was the winner for a second week with $12 million. 30 years ago in 1987, The Secret of My Success took the title for a second week with $7.4 million. And 40 years ago in 1977, Rocky took the box office crown with $4.8 million, reclaiming number 1 in its 20th weekend of release. The 5 box office premieres for April 21st are throwing everything they have at Toretto and his crew. This week's headliner is Unforgettable. a drama thriller starring Rosario Dawson, Katherine Heigl, and Jeff Stoltz.
This is not my fault. This is her fault. You should never have brought her here. I made one mistake. And you took everything away from me.
Stop.
You gave it all to her, right in front of me! This is my life, David. It's mine!
Tessa! I'm gonna get you help. I'm taking Lily home.
A woman sets out to make life hell for her ex-husband's new wife. Vindictive much? Unforgettable is rated R. Number 2 on the list is The Promise, a historical drama starring Christian Bale, Oscar Isaac, and Angela Sarafian.
¿Cómo estás? Mikael! What a pleasant surprise. Chris, Mikael is the nephew of Monsieur Bogosian.
Christopher Myers.
Hey, nice to meet you.
The legendary Chris Myers. Emery Ogan, notorious playboy, frequents opium dens. How and why the hell did they let you in here? Good to see you. May I introduce Mademoiselle Anna Kassari?
Constantinople is blessed by your beauty, Mademoiselle Kassarian.
Nice to meet you.
Please join us. Sir.
I'm so happy we get to meet when I'm not teaching.
Yes, what a surprise. Chris is a star reporter for the Associated Press.
We met in Paris when my father was deputy consul.
Whose father was a spy.
That's why you were such a good drinking companion. You were looking to expose us. A toast to old friends and you. Cheers.
Set during the last days of the Ottoman Empire, The Promise follows a love triangle between Michael, a brilliant medical student, the beautiful and sophisticated Anna, and Chris, a renowned American journalist based in Paris. The Promise is rated PG-13. Number 3 on the list is Phoenix Forgotten, a horror mystery film starring Florence Hardikin, Luke Spencer Roberts, and Chelsea Lopez.
It's definitely not this way.
Mark! Mark, where are you going?
Just stay there.
Mark, where are you going?
I'm gonna find the car from up here.
You're not gonna see anything up there. It's pitch black.
Hey, Dad, can you come look at this?
What?
It's just not working.
Why would it do that?
I don't know. Whoa. What is that? Oh my God. What is that?
Ashley.
Oh my God.
20 years after 3 teenagers disappeared in the wake of mysterious lights appearing above Phoenix, Arizona, unseen footage from that night has been discovered, chronicling the final hours of their fateful expedition. Phoenix Forgotten is rated PG-13. Number 4 is Free Fire, a crime thriller starring Sharlto Copley, Brie Larson, and Armie Hammer.
I think we got off on a little bit of a bad footing there, eh? I think what we need to do is just start afresh. So I'm going to be the gentleman in this relationship, and I'm going to chuck in a free box of lube because she likes to run wet.
Whoa. Slow the roll for a minute. Public safety announcement, while the rifle's hot, I'm gonna pull my pistol out. Nothing personal.
Knock yourself out, Sparky.
Okay, just try not to hit any of the metalwork because I don't want to get any of those bling burns on my new suit.
Sorry, what was that?
This is from Savile.
I don't know about you guys, but I for one think Vern's merchandise is a real gas.
My guess is you're whatever you're paid to be, pal.
Did you see what you did, yeah?
Good.
Okay.
Set in Boston in 1978, a meeting in a deserted warehouse between two gangs turns into a shootout and a game of survival. Free Fire is rated R. And number 5 on the list is Born in China, a documentary starring John Krasinski and Sun Shao.
This is the first snowfall Tao Tao's sister has ever seen. Her pure amazement is a welcome distraction from the hardships of winter. What is this stuff? Whatever it is, it's cold. Must get to higher ground. Yes, snow is a bummer, and it's really cold on your hands. The one upside is, it's a perfect excuse to walk like this.
Venturing into the wilds of China, Born in China captures intimate moments with a panda bear and her growing cub, a young golden monkey who feels displaced by his baby sister, and a mother snow leopard struggling to raise her 2 cubs. Born in China is rated G. There are also 4 titles on this week's limited slate, and you can find those in the show notes. Next up is a look at the home entertainment slate for the week of April 18th, and in comparison to the box office premieres, this list is kind of tame. I'll kick things off with new releases on DVD and Blu-ray, and that list begins with Split, a horror thriller starring James McAvoy, Anya Taylor-Joy, and Kim Director. Kevin, a man with 23 different personalities, is compelled to abduct 3 teenage girls. As they're held captive, a final personality, the Beast, begins to emerge. Split is rated PG-13. Number 2 on the list is The Founder, a biographical drama starring Michael Keaton, Linda Cardinelli, and Patrick Wilson. This is the story of Ray Kroc, a salesman who turned 2 brothers' innovative fast food eatery, McDonald's, into one of the biggest restaurant businesses in the world with a combination of ambition, persistence, and ruthlessness. The Founder is rated PG-13. And number 3 on this list is Teen Titans, The Judas Contract, an animated action-adventure film starring Christina Ricci, Miguel Ferrer, and Thaisa Farmiga. Young psychopath Tara Markov is seduced and trained by Deathstroke to infiltrate the Teen Titans and tear them apart from within. Teen Titans, The Judas Contract is rated PG-13. Swinging by new release on digital video, I have one title to share there. That one is A Dog's Purpose, a drama starring Britt Robertson, Dennis Quaid, and Peggy Lipton. A dog looks to discover his purpose in life over the course of several lifetimes and owners. A Dog's Purpose is rated PG.
Come on, invited. Run till I find it. I don't care which side that you fight it. Gon' get you gone.
Moving right along to TV on DVD and Blu-ray, start things there with Killjoys Season 2 from 2016, starring Hannah John Kamen, Aaron Ashmore, and Luke McFarlane. The galaxy's most badass bounty hunters are back in Killjoys Season 2. It's now up to Johnny and Dutch to rescue a kidnapped Davin. As our trio continues to hunt deadly warrants threatening a bloody multiplanetary war, they face old enemies, the tyrannical company, and the mysterious agenda of Kylan, Dutch's former mentor. The other TV title this week is Hawaii Five-0, the complete series, spanning 1968 to 1980 and starring Jack Lord, James MacArthur, and Cam Fong. Ride the wave of excitement as this epic 72-disc set throws you into all 12 seasons of this landmark police procedural action drama. Hawaii Five-0 was a groundbreaking series, the first of its kind to be filmed on location in Hawaii. The show follows former U.S. Naval Officer Steve McGarrett, now acting head of an elite state police unit, and his young officer Danny Dano Williams. McGarrett and his team hound international secret agents, criminals, and organized crime syndicates plaguing the Hawaiian Islands. I'll wrap up this short home entertainment slate with Blu-rays from the past, and this week I bring you one title. That one is The Handmaid's Tale, a drama from 1990 starring Natasha Richardson, Faye Dunaway, and Aidan Quinn. In a dystopically polluted right-wing religious tyranny, a young woman is put in sexual slavery on account of her now rare fertility. The Handmaid's Tale is rated R. After this brief break for About a Shameless podcast cross-promotion, the Weekly Podioplex will continue.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
Ladies, listen! Hey, Skywalkers, this is Richard, and over here is my sweetie wife, Sarah.
You can call me Jedi Tink.
And we are
Skywalking Through Neverland.
Jimmy Mack here. When you wish upon a podcast, wish upon this podcast. These guys are awesome.
We are a fan-focused podcast that covers Star Wars, Disney, pop culture, and their fandom communities.
The stuff that surrounds us, penetrates us, and binds us all together as instantaneous friends.
What do you know?
We showcase what people are doing in the world of fandom and talk to those who are involved firsthand in the universes that we love.
This is Margaret Carey, Tinkerbell.
This is Jeremy Bullock, Boba Fett from Star Wars.
This is Steve Sansweet from Rancho Obi-Wan.
Hey, it's James Arnold Taylor, the voice of Obi-Wan Kenobi, and I happen to be skywalking through Neverland right now.
I'm skywalking through Neverland.
And I am skywalking through Neverland. I've always hated space travel. Yeah.
Skywalking Through Neverland is the ultimate expression of fandom. You can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, YouTube, and our website, skywalkingthroughneverland.com.
And remember, Neverland on Alderaan.
And welcome back to the Weekly Podioplex. I'm Denise with your Quick Flicks. Jude Law's gonna play young Albus Dumbledore, you guys! Oh my god, I can't even! According to Pottermore, the second film in the Fantastic Beasts series will show Dumbledore decades before he became the headmaster at Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. At this point in the story, he is Wizarding School's Transfiguration professor and a contemporary of Gellert Grindelwald, the dark wizard we met in Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, played by Johnny Depp. If you remember from the first movie, Dumbledore was referenced when it was revealed that Newt Scamander was expelled from Hogwarts because of an accident with a magical creature. It was Dumbledore who argued against his expulsion. In the latest edition of the Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them library book, Newt says in his foreword that Albus Dumbledore was something more than a schoolteacher to me. What that something more is, we'll have to wait and find out. Director David Yates said of the casting, Jude Law is a phenomenally talented actor whose work I've long admired, and I'm looking forward to finally having an opportunity to work with him. I know he will brilliantly capture all the unexpected facets of Albus Dumbledore as J.K. Rowling reveals this very different time in his life. Excuse me while I squeal in delight. In more casting news, Josh Brolin has nabbed the hotly contested role of Cable opposite Ryan Reynolds in Deadpool 2. Thanos is playing Cable, you guys! According to The Hollywood Reporter, the production has been on the warpath to find the right actor for the role for months, with Michael Shannon almost scoring the role and Stranger Things star David Harbour on the shortlist. There were even rumors of conversations with Russell Crowe and Brad Pitt. However, in the end, Brolin emerged as a surprise contender, notching his second Marvel Comics character in the process. David Litch is directing the sequel to Fox's surprise blockbuster, with the movie heading toward a June production to start in Vancouver. Ryan Reynolds is reprising his role as the fourth wall-breaking mercenary, with the story expanding to include other characters from Deadpool's corner of the Marvel X-Men universe. Hey, maybe Xavier's School for Gifted Children will actually be full this time. In other universe news, a Call of Duty Marvel-esque movie franchise is planned. And the race to make a universally liked video game movie continues, ladies and gentlemen. Bring on the war games. No, really, because that's what Call of Duty is. You know, war games. You know what? Never mind. I tried. Never mind. I'll show myself out. Warcraft failed. Assassin's Creed was a flop. There's hope for Tomb Raider, The Division, or even Splinter Cell, but right now we're looking at Call of Duty, and Activision Blizzard Studios is planning to turn it into a Marvel-esque cinematic universe that may launch in 2018. You know what? At this point, Disney and Square Enix should just partner up and give us a straight-up Kingdom Hearts movie, because seriously, I'm sensing a G.I. Joe repeat attempt here, and about the only way we'll get a good video game movie is if Pixar makes it. Unless Uncharted pans out. I'm hoping Uncharted pans out. The Guardian spoke to co-presidents of the studio, Stacey Sher and Nick Van Dyke, about the future films being planned. They are currently working on not only one film, but also finding enough ideas to fill in a cinematic universe. I mean, if they need ideas, why not a Mass Effect movie? Or even a Dragon Age movie? The Witcher? Why does it have to be Call of Duty? Don't we have enough war movies? The studio is using Marvel and Star Wars as examples. Cher said, "We have plotted out many years. We put together this group of writers to talk about where we were going. There'll be a film that feels more like Black Ops, the story behind the story. The Modern Warfare series looks at what it's like to fight a war with the eyes of the world on you, and then maybe something that's more of a hybrid where you're looking at private covert operations while a public operation is going on." And Van Dyke. "It's going to have the same sort of high adrenaline, high energy aesthetic as the game, but it's not a literal adaptation. It's a much broader and inclusive global in scope. A big tentpole Marvel-esque movie." Both Cher and Van Dyke confirmed they have multiple drafts complete and are in the research phase to make these movies as lifelike as possible. If everything goes according to their rough plan, there's a very real possibility we could be seeing a Call of Duty cinematic universe as soon as 2018. Van Dyke is specifically drawing inspiration from his Disney roots and hopes to fill this universe with Easter eggs, maintaining a consistent theme throughout the various adaptations. I mean, Call of Duty is about war. I killed Nazis and shot down quite a few Japanese Zeros in World at War, and one of my exes played one of the newer games because he was part of a Raven Squad in real life, and the game featured a Raven Squad, so yay! I mean, I don't even know, you guys. I do know that if this first movie is not a success, there won't be a cinematic universe, and we'll have to wait for the next video game movie adaptation to see if a Hollywood studio will ever get it right. Is anyone else keeping score, or is it just me? And lastly, Arnold Schwarzenegger's Legend of Conan is not happening, and I'm honestly sorry about this one. I love the Schwarzenegger Conan movies, and to be fair, I also like the Momoa movies, so there. Speaking to EW, Chris Morgan said when he asked if he had any updates on Legend of Conan, "Not so much. That's kind of a longer story. At the end of the day, the studio decided they weren't going to make that. I gotta say, it's honestly a heartbreak. I love that first movie so much, so much. It's one of my favorite movies. We had Will Beall do a draft on the Legend of Conan script. He killed it. Our take was Conan 30 years later, a story like the Clint Eastwood Unforgiven. It was so awesome. Ultimately, the budget was big. The studio was not really sure of the title and the relevance in the marketplace. They ended up letting it go. I think they're going to look to do a TV show or something with it, but just to be associated with it, pitch it to Arnold, have him get so excited, there was a moment of magic for me, personally. You never know, down the road we may revisit. Honestly, this really does suck. Legend of Conan promised to deliver the King Conan story that a lot of us has been waiting to see. And it would have been a great final chapter. I mean, it would have been awesome. You know, but you can't help when studios say no, I guess. And that's it for this week's Quick Flicks. I'll see you guys next time on the Weekly Podioplex.
Thank you, Denise. And here we are once again to the end of a new edition of the Weekly Podioplex. If you want to discuss anything you heard on this week's edition, please take a moment to get in touch. You can surf on over to the brand new homepage at chronicrift.com and leave an audio message right there on the website using your microphone, or you can write to weeklypodioplex@gmail.com. Of course, you can still tweet us on Twitter. The Chronic Rift is chronic_rift. The Weekly Podioplex is Weekly Podioplex. Denise is Riley James Keith. And I am Womprat99, like the creature Luke with Bullseye in his T-16 in Beggar's Canyon. You can give the Chronic Rift a thumbs up on Stitcher Radio, leave us a 5-star review on iTunes, and you can find the Weekly Podioplex and the Chronic Rift on Facebook and Google+. Take a moment, stop on by, and see what other shows the Chronic Rift Network has to offer. We have Cyborgs, a Bionic podcast, the Batcave podcast, the OSI Files podcast, the G2V podcast, Generations Geek, Present the Transcription Feature, the Dan and Travis Show, the Sci-Fi Diner podcast, Doctor Who and Mr. Drew, the Home Game Show Version podcast, and so much more. If you have a Roku player, you can time travel with us and find the Chronic Rift's Roku channel, which contains episodes of the Chronic Rift's adventures in the 1990s when it was a public access television show on the New York City airwaves. Check us out and find the culture in pop culture. If you're interested in more of my adventures, take a quick trip to my blog, Creative Criticality, where I'm watching every episode of Doctor Who for the first time from the very beginning of the franchise and reviewing those stories in the Timestamps Project. Right now, the blog is kicking off the 18th season, the final season with the 4th Doctor, and those reviews can be found at creativecriticality.wordpress.com. You can also find Creative Criticality on Facebook. Denise can also be found on the internet at Accessories Not Included, where she talks about her writing, reviews books, and offers her services as a cover designer. Check her out at accessoriesnotincluded.com. If you decide to pick up any of this week's new releases, why not do it through our Amazon store? You get the newest entertainment at Amazon's low prices and high-quality service, and each purchase you make that store supports the Chronic Rift Network. Your support keeps us on the air, and we appreciate your consideration. Look for the links to our best bets in the network store in our show notes, or click the Amazon box on the website. The Weekly Podioplex is a Lucky Shot production and is produced by John S. Drew. On behalf of Denise and John, this is Michael Faulkner. Thanks for listening. Until next time, there are adventures and drama, comedy and action, worlds to explore in the depths of film. Get some popcorn, find your favorite seat, and I'll see you at the theater.
That's a wrap!